save them if I could. And something tells me that I should, that I should, that I should.
Welcome to Life After Bay, the podcast for all life and love forms of Arcadia Bay and beyond. I'm your host Martin, as known as It's Me Maxine. So what's this all about, and who are these persons on the cover? I have to admit that the following will sound really nerdy, and at some point in the future we'll go where no one has gone before, but we go there together, no one will be left alone. At least try to relax for now, and I assure you that at the end of the podcast you will have learned at least 2 new terms which will come in handy in any small talk situation. It is all about the episodic choice-driven video game Life is Strange, originally released in 2015. The story is about teenagers coming of age in high school America with a supernatural twist. It's time travel, tackling a lot of real-life topics and taboos. I will cover these in later episodes and not now to eventually not trigger anyone because of sensitive topics. The 2 women on the cover are the protagonist Maxine, called Max, and Chloe. She's the one with the dyed hair. Yes, she has green hair on the cover, and in the game she has blue hair. Correct. To make a long story short, these are from different points in time in the game, speaking of years, which will let the hair color fade from blue to green eventually. Which leaves the title Life After Bay. The main location of the game is situated in the fictional place Arcadia Bay, near Oregon, and it hints at the fact that the game is more than 5 years old and has spawned several other games in the wake, but none with the original cast and location, except the prequel Life is Strange Before the Storm. So people are eager to get a successor or final completion of the series. Maybe it's part of the reason why there's so many fan art out there. Okay, is this podcast then all about video games? No. The Life is Strange video game is the umbrella and crystallization point for many topics I will cover and list shortly. Of course, it was my starting point for this journey, which is still ongoing and where I want to take you with me, and I would be glad if you join. Do I need to play the game in order to hear and understand your podcast and all the jokes, banned puns, memes, etc.? No, definitely not. But it may help, and I would encourage you to do so. You can do it any time or not at all. I leave it totally up to you. On the other hand, I made this podcast absolutely for people who do not know the game and even maybe don't play video games at all. Before Life is Strange, I haven't played video games for over 25 years. So I'm also a beginner, and you are in good company. Of course, you don't have to play the game yourself. There are hundreds of Let's Play or live streams or reviews of the game, so choose whatever you like best. And here comes the obvious disclaimer. Spoilers can be revealed at any given time with no warning or hint at all. I will not discuss or go into deep religious wars like what is the best game, how I'm gonna play it, why I like or dislike this specific character, ship, scene, interpretation, video, etc. I am in no way neutral, but this is neither an ego trip nor a discussion board. So please look for the appropriate places. I will link them. Have a look there. Ship in this context is short for any kind of relationship in written fan fiction between characters. E.g. like Chloe and Max, the protagonists ship as Pricefield, deriving from their last names Price and Caulfield, making it Pricefield. So what about me? To fulfill all stereotypes, I am male, white, 50, cis and straight. I could go on forever, but I will cover my privileges and story in the first upcoming episode. Yeah, how selfish of me. Okay, spoilers ahead. The only things standing out are that I have Asperger and have red hair. What can I expect then? Will you talk on for hours or rant about your life? The podcast will mostly be based on interviews I will do with all kinds of people who are entangled with the fandom in one way or another. What may be new to the kind of podcast is that I try to be a little self-critical and will question stereotypes and speak out about bias. I plan to publish a new episode on the last Sunday of every month. Each one will last for about 30 to 60 minutes. Now for the topics I want to cover in the podcast. Mental health, like depression, queerness from representation to coming out, fan fiction, like written fiction, fan art from crocheting to 3D prints, cosplay and music videos, fandom in general, the community aspects, inspired music, video games as art, and much, much more. And I will have a closer look at the famous and excessively used sentence, "This was a life-changing experience." I want to tell the stories of the people who bring the fandom to life, but also what the fandom gives back to them. It's mutual and with no hidden agenda. Okay, before I make you cry, I also want to speak out about some shortcomings and imbalance of representation in and around Life is Strange, like Black, Indigenous and people of color, white, old, mostly men as creators, developers, artists, etc. Ableism, more physically than mentally. Intersectionality like religion, class, age, birthplace, body and look. And the filter bubble effect. And limits and knock-on effects of virtual worlds communities. First I will tell the story of myself and how I got sucked into this parallel world and what happened along the way in real life. And after that, I will try to focus on the fan art I like the most. Sorry, so selfish again. Like fan fiction and everything around cosplay and videos. I'm a total fan of CMVs, which are cosplay music videos. In the future, I try to get other people on the boat so that I get myself more equation in specific fields, especially the ones I'm preaching here all the time. At the end, there are the obvious acknowledgements. But this is for real, and without these people, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. Inspiration specific for the podcast came from, but was not limited to, Adnan Riaz' podcast Life After Strange. Sorry, Adnan, for so shamelessly borrowing a part of the podcast name. He is mostly interviewing actors and artists who made the Life is Strange video games. Then the team of the Blackwell Podcast, Hey Jamie, who talked about the game and about super important topics like mental health and also collected money for charity. They were really inspiring. And so many other German-speaking empowering podcasts, mostly from women of color or queer people. I really want to thank for their direct help and generosity Olya Rue in creating the logo for the podcast. She's a young upcoming artist from who I hope we will see and read more in the future. Christina, as known as Riley Hawk, for letting me use her music royalty-free. You can hear a song at the beginning, It's All That Matters, from her EP Fragile Reality, which by the way was also inspired by Life is Strange. You can find her music on Bandcamp, Spotify and SoundCloud. And the Life is Strange fans team. Hey May, Chris and all the others. And their Discord server, which was my hideout for over the last year and where I met a lot of people, including a party of 4 persons where I truly found myself understood and at home, where I can be who I want to be and where anyone will help each other. Thank you guys. That said, I will link to all the people and stuff I mentioned in the description. You can reach out to me on the Life is Strange fans Discord server, on Twitter and via email. Sorry, I am not that sort of a social animal, and same goes for the social networks. So no Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. If you have any good idea or feedback about the podcast or know a person I should really do an interview with, please let me know. Oh, and if you want to have another reason to come back here, here's one. I will learn to play the instrumental track Witches from Daughter on my guitar over the course of the podcast. It's from the soundtrack of the prequel Life is Strange Before the Storm. So thanks for listening to my podcast and spread the word. See you soon in and around Arcadia Bay. Bye Martin, aka It's Me Maxine. Oh, remember the two terms you will have learned in the end? No? Then I will rewind. Just a sec. Ship in this context is short for any kind of relationship in written fan fiction between characters. CMVs, which are cosplay music videos.